You might be surprised to learn, as I was, that 3 of my predictions actually came true. Now, the first one is the most shocking. I predicted that Donald J. Trump would be elected president. As you may have heard, he was. Was anyone else surprised by that? It wasn't just me. The second prediction you might consider a gimme. I said last summer would be the hottest on record, and of course it was. But I think we all expected that, other than Donald J. Trump. The third prediction you might also consider a gimme. I predicted that Standing Room Only would once again change its name. So to recap, the troupe is now called SRO. Before that, it was Standing Room Only. Before that, it was SRO again. Before that, it was Senior Repertory of Ohio. Before that, it was Grandparents Living Theater. And I recently learned before that, it was originally called Columbus Living Theater. And that brings us to our final citation for the founder of Grandparents Living Theater. Joy, I feel like I need to clear one thing up. I don't know if you heard about this, but one of the years you couldn't make it here, I made some comments about you that may be considered slightly snarky. I mentioned that you had to leave one of our critics' meetings early, and that later you criticized one of our citations, saying that it sounded, and I'm quoting here, clunky, unquote. I may have been slightly upset by this, and I may have cast some aspersions on your English accent. I may even have gone so far as to suggest that you came not from the United Kingdom, but from Chillicothe. Joy, that's in Ohio. So I just want to make it clear that when I said those things, I was joking. I was again trying to be humorous. And so Joy Reilly, as we all know, did come from the UK, and I personally love the UK. In fact, my girlfriend, who's sitting over there trying to hide, and I went to the UK a couple of years ago, and we loved every minute of it. Well, except for the 10 or 15 minutes I tried to drive in the UK. Who could have known that after driving some 50 years on the right side of the road, it would be so hard to adapt to driving on the wrong side of the road. I suddenly had to figure out where the left side of the car was, and my poor girlfriend was trying to help me by saying, "You're too close! My God, you're too close!" But we had a great time. And it just made me realize just how much we as Americans owe the British. I mean, just think. They gave us their language, they gave us our language, they gave us basically our system of justice, they gave us tea, which we tossed in the harbor. Okay, they gave us our language, they gave us our system of justice, they gave us Shakespeare, they gave us Dickens and a host of other fine writers, and tonight we're celebrating the fact that they gave us Joy Reilly. That fact, I'd like to introduce someone who can do a much classier job of introducing Joy than I have so far. When I made my predictions last year, I failed to predict that one of our colleagues would be forced to drop out of reviewing, but when I asked him to come back to give a citation to Joy Reilly, he immediately said he would be honored. So please welcome again Jay Weist.
In chronological order, here is our honor roll of past winners. Russell Hastings, Iona Yezelenka, Charles Chuck Dodrell, Furman Bo Brown, Harold Eisenstein, David Ayers, Jerome Lawrence and Robert E. Lee, Fred Holdridge and Howard Burns, Eileen Heckert, Dennis Parker, L.B. Bo Raby, John Kenley, Leslie Ferris, Catherine Berkman, Linda Dorff, Randy Skinner, Jeffrey Nelson, Alan Woods, Ed Vaughn, C. Joseph Heider, William Goldsmith, Dana White, Dennis Romer, and last year, Ed Grayson. Born in the real Dublin, not the Columbus suburb, Joy Reilly is likewise the real article. A celebrated teacher, a skillful director, an accomplished writer, and to our own great joy, a collegial critic. Having wielded the pen of both playwright and reviewer, and worn the costumes of queens and of socialites, Joy has spent a lifetime passing through fourth walls. In 3 decades of teaching theater at Ohio State, she has imparted her wisdom and enthusiasm to several generations of theater practitioners, and instilled a love of theater in many a surprised undergrad, looking simply for a general education credit. It is therefore all of our great honors to present a Roy Bowen Lifetime Achievement Award to Joy Reilly, who retired last year after more than 3 decades as a teacher, mentor, director, actor, critic, and textbook author, for her leadership as an Ohio State University professor from 1985 to 2016, and distinguished teaching of a widely popular introductory theater course, and for her pioneering vision as founder and artistic director of Grandparents Living Theater, internationally recognized for its senior theater programming. Joy Reilly.
I have to say, I feel very honored being in the company of all these Roy Bowen Award winners. Roy Bowen was my advisor, and as was Alan Woods, wherever you are, Alan, somewhere there, when I was a student at Ohio State, and then eventually became an instructor. I just want to say something about Weatherby Playhouse. There were so many comments about Weatherby Playhouse here. Was anybody there when it was a tent? We were in a tent. Roy Bowen, by the way, was an amazing advisor, as is Alan Woods. But when it was a tent, in the summer, and I was on stage in the tent, in a streetcar named Desire, and there was a storm, and the tent blew down. I remember it extremely well. That was before it was moved from Route 79 to where it is now, and they actually created a theater with sticks and stones. Anyway, I just want to mention that. I do want to say that I'm extremely honored. I met many of these people, or was in some way influenced by the people who won the Roy Bowen Award. And Roy Bowen directed me in a variety of different shows. I love that man, and I feel very privileged to have ended up in Ohio. Thank you.
Especially this time of the year, we think of Grandma and Grandpa being home, waiting for the family to arrive for Thanksgiving. And grandparents Cabot's going to introduce us to may change that image.
I sure think they will change that image, Mona, and we're gonna feature them quite a bit tonight. With me is the director of the Grandparents Living Theater. This is Joy Reilly. Joy works in the theater department at Ohio State. So by day, you're with young people. By evening, you're with senior citizens.
I'm with even younger people.
That's right, that's right.
The company began back in 1984 when it started as an oral history workshop for Columbus Recreational Parks, which I was leading. I asked people to write down their thoughts about certain topics, or I might ask them to talk about their life when they were growing up.
And we decided to share the material that was coming out of the workshop and auditioned a group of members to perform, and that's how we started.
It keeps blossoming.
And I think it's very exciting. It's something on the fringe. It's something that hasn't been accepted really by the community yet. Is to break all the misconceptions about aging and to try new things and to do all things that people don't think old people can do. And it's interesting, people don't want to talk about old age, they don't want to think about old age. It's an unpleasant topic, but it's going to happen to most of us. And we're trying to start people thinking about it in a palatable way. Such things as loneliness, and what is it like growing older, and what is it like when your spouse is gone, and what is it like if you don't get on with your children. Because this is very important, I think, in America today. I think we need to hold on to our roots. It's artistic, but also therapeutic.
We consider ourselves the Grey Panthers of the theatre.
The issues that we're dealing with, I haven't seen it done before. Maybe it's been done before, but we haven't seen it.
So just because you're older doesn't mean you cannot be artistically successful, creative, and exciting. And what's more, I think that what they have to offer is their life experience, their wisdom, their love of life, and their sharing of their wisdom. And we can put those two things together and come up with something that's really special.
It's a totally collaborative effort. Yes, it is it's a true collaborative effort. It's definitely like a patchwork quilt.
But she makes it into dramatic form and edits. And she's responsible for the good script.
It's kind of funny. I have been writing off and on for this group for almost a year. Nothing was ever good enough until the sex thing, and there are 5 of those.
I see, I didn't know that after all.
We never signed our names.
The goal of Grandparents Living Theatre is to be an experimental company that challenges and explores what's really possible for the older performer. And I'm talking about the amateur performer trying things for the first time, probably.
I don't like older professional actors. And the reason I don't like them is because they have already developed their own stage technique, and they are stagey. They have their own stage presence. They already have their personality. They like to perform. They're concerned about how they come across. And for an ensemble such as this one, we're concerned on how the message comes across.
I thought, for instance, they couldn't learn lines. I thought that they didn't have any strength. I thought that, they wouldn't be able to dance. And since then, I found that that's all nonsense. They can do all those things, They're just like everybody else. And when you're older, you just do what you did before. You just take a little bit more time doing it, maybe. But the end product is so much more rich because of the experience of the life that doesn't matter. And the audience doesn't mind that. What they love is sharing with older actors on the stage. I mean, they're just entranced by older actors. They're charmed by them, I should say.
Because there are hundreds and thousands and millions of people growing older. And they want to do something with their lives. They're healthy. Not all want to watch television, not all want to play golf. There's a lot of people who have a creative urge that they've never yet explored.
I can see our company expanding to include more than just actors, professional, retired musicians, dancers, singers.
And then we have the total beginner, and that's really terrific fun. We have the retired dentist, or we have a farmer.
I have learned to yell. When I started out, I was very polite. I was very properly brought up. So when I started out with this group, I was sort of very shy and sort of meek and not the kind of person I am with college students, where I assert myself very quickly. And I discovered that I didn't get anywhere at all.
Keep the pace going on those lines. So you want everybody to get your body involved.
We try not to discriminate, but we prefer them not to be under 60.
This girl got her car up even with mine, and she gave me the finger. That made me so mad, I gave her all 10.
Overseas, in the Eastern community, I mean, the older you get, the more valuable you become. Here in America, what is the cutting off point when you become old? That's the issue. That's what I'm trying to find out. And I keep pushing it back.
Of course, you're not really very senior.
Who, me?
Yes.
Well, I'm getting there.
Yeah, but you're the youngest of the whole group.
Yes, I
aren't you?
am, yes.
So we're willing to perform anywhere, almost at any time, providing our performers feel that it's a good show to do. The sky's the limit as far as the Living Theatre is concerned.
I think we should take it international.
And in addition to that, I think there can be an educational component where people can learn new skills in the performing arts. After all, they're going to live longer. Why not try something new? And the performing arts are for the quality of life. My goodness, we have no idea what's possible in older age.
When we asked the playwrights to submit scripts for this, the play was to celebrate life. Then we do it with the students. Everything's controlled by God. 6 minutes. It's supposed to be a 5-minute play. We're giving you 6 minutes because we know what actors are like. Because we don't want you here all day. Okay, we're going to do 6. And then we're going to stop and have a break. And a break that the judges reorganize their brains. Which they're going to need to do after what they see up here. Alright. I don't want to introduce any authors until the end. They may not wish to be introduced.
Hard. Thank you so much, Joy, for inspiring us every week.
It's the end of my time at Ohio State, and thank you for being here to share it with me. This is a transition. We all go through transitions. We have to learn to go through transitions. I had to go through a transition. I created a theater company of women after I had already created a theater company of men and women, and they were all transitions. This is a new transition. So thank you. Thank you for coming.
This year, the Theatre Roundtable of Central Ohio is proud to present our Herald Award to Miss Joy Reilly.
I've said enough tonight.